Hello then and welcome to a CGTN special coverage of the awards ceremony of the Communist Party of China, which will be marking its 100th year on July the 1st. And today's ceremony will see outstanding members of the party receive July the 1st medal for the first time. It's the party's highest honor given to those who have made outstanding contributions in areas such as reforms, construction and poverty eradication. And nominees for the medal will soon depart for the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, where Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, will present the medals and deliver a speech. And we'll go live to our reporters as well later for more on the ground. And here in the studio with me are Mr. Wang Huiyao from China's State Council and Professor Xia Lu, who is with the School of Marxism Studies at the Renmin University of China. Before we get to all that, let's take a look at what's the July the 1st medal and what are the selection of criteria. Our next report explains.
As the Communist Party of China marks its 100 years, it's created a special honor for outstanding party members. The July 1st medal is the highest honor in the party. In 2017, the party issued measures on granting this honorary medal in accordance with the regulation on establishing and improving the honor and reward system of the party and the nation. The regulation was approved by the Political Bureau of the party's Central Committee back in 2015. Eligible candidates should have made outstanding contributions to building socialism with Chinese characteristics, as well as to the party's construction. Their contributions should cover efforts on multiple fronts, from building a moderately prosperous society, eradicating extreme poverty, to others made for China's revolution, nation building, and reforms. Nominees should also have high moral standards and have created invaluable spiritual wealth for the people. Their work should have a profound influence on and be recognized by the Chinese society. The award will be granted every 5 years to celebrate the party's major anniversaries. This year, 29 people have been selected as the first recipients of the medal. They're from different ethnic groups across the country. As dedicated party members, they have remained dedicated to serving the people, with many staying at grassroots positions for decades to help communities. And some are honored posthumously after having lost their lives in fighting for the greater good for the nation. Ko Yiming, CGTN.
All right, now for more on the awards, we are going to be joined in the studio by Mr. Wang Huiyao, as we introduced, and Mr. Professor Xia Lu as well. Professor Wang, first of all, how great or how necessary is it to grant this July the 1st medal to the outstanding members?
Well, I think it's really a great occasion, at this centennial celebration of CPC in China. And it's really great to take back at what has contributed, what are the lively members of its party who have actually contributed significantly to the development of China and also to the, to be the moral model of China. So I think that this is the first time that they have actually established July 1st medal. I think it's really a great, application to all those people that selected from this 90 million.
What does it mean to people who don't win this medal? Do you think to the other party members and to the mass population as well?
Well, I think that there are several layers of a medal, but I think this is the highest of July 1st medal, which are awarded to the party members, which I think serves as a very good inspiration, but also stimulation to the massive general party members as some moral leaders to look for, and also they have actually contributed significantly in their own respective area, but also they have made a spiritual contribution as well. I mean, enriched the inherent the spirit of the CPC, but also by all those concrete measures, actions, contributions, even sacrifices they made. So it's really a great...
Especially sacrifices.
Especially sacrifice. I think, we need that kind of spirit for a country to move on. We need some, good examples of that. Those are really exemplify great figures.
Especially where facing a kind of difficult time. The pandemic is still prevailing in other parts of the world, and we're still tightening the control measures here in China as well. Professor Xia, who are these people who are qualified for this July the 1st medal, and how were those people nominated?
Well, in preparing for this kind of interview, I just studied the profile of these 29 candidates. I kind of find that they share the same quality that they insist. They have the spirit of insistence, they have the spirit of perseverance, and they have the spirit of responsibility, and they are loyal to not only to the nation, but also dedicated to the party's great cause, not only for the Chinese people, for their kind of local community, but also for the entire Chinese nation, the further development. So well, they share this kind of spirit. Yeah.
How were they selected then?
Well, and these 29 candidates, they are the kind of the receivers of these highest honors. But when we look at, when we kind of type the so-called two outstanding and one this kind of distinguished this term in the search engine, we can find that in local the party committees in the previous weeks, and this kind of local committees and the grassroots cells, they have already awarded honors to numbers of people who have already made contribution to this kind of thing. So I think the local committee or local this kind of cells, they're just selected step by step, and they just kind of promote these candidates to the highest level. Yeah.
Well, Professor Wang, I noticed that they are heroes in different backgrounds, different fields of working or fighting even. But there was no officials in this list.
Not really, but I noticed one that maybe retired one. That is Liu Guijin from
our old friend. He used to share his experiences of China-Africa cooperation.
He used to work with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but also he worked extensively in the China-African development.
But he's a different kind of official. I mean, in terms of official, I refer to the party official or political official.
Yeah. Well, I think he probably represents a category of officials, but you are right. You know, it's all
it's for the people, ordinary people with great contributions.
Yeah, this is really significant. I think it's you know, when we talk about the Communist Party members, people think about majority of officials, but not. In fact, is most of them are not government officials. So are general folks. But they are dedicated. They have shared some, you know, good spirit. They have really have a moral value. They have really do the good for all their lives, and that's not easy. I mean, I read so many stories there that they have contributed their lives to the cause of the country, to the prosperity of the country, and to lift the 800 million people out of poverty. So there are many people like that, and that is really the ordinary folks we should focus on. They are also party members, but they are also representing a lot of great values of Chinese. You know, history, culture, and Chinese, you know, abundant cultural heritage. I think that is displayed fully in their
that actually reflects the spirits of the CPC, the Communist Party, from the people and back to the people, return to the people. We're talking about these ordinary heroes. When they are heroes, they are not ordinary as well. We have to talk about the structure or the feature of party members. How are they same with the other people and also different from other people?
Well, I think the party members, you know, we have 91 million party members in China out of a 1.4 billion people population. But so they are in terms of
they are people.
Yeah, they are people. They are the same as you and me, probably, and anybody else. But what strikes them out is that at different stage of their life, they made an application to join the party. But then once they join the party, they have to, you know, really have high moral standards to require them, and they have to really do a lot of good things. They have to sometimes even sacrifice. They also need to probably set aside some individual interests for serve the people, for serve the country. So that is kind of a patriotic, but also very traditional, reflect traditional value of China. You know, help others, do the good things, and really be really actually resilient, and but also if necessary, sometimes even willing to sacrifice. So that is really great spirit that I think not only to the Chinese party members, but also reflecting a lot of good value of Chinese people.
So the party members should always stand in front of the difficulties, protecting the people behind them. All right, we'll be getting back to you, gentlemen, for more discussions. Let's learn a little more about those nominees. One nominee is Zhang Guimei. She founded the first tuition-free high school for girls in China and helped nearly 2,000 girls in remote areas get admitted to colleges. That's a great contribution indeed. And CGTN's Zhou Yue has more details.
It looks like an ordinary school in China, but it is anything but ordinary. The school has an extraordinary principal. She is Zhang Guimei, 64 years old. She has no children, but thousands of girls call her mother. In 1974, Zhang, then 17, traveled to Yunnan to teach in this poor community. But soon, she found a problem.
The dropout rate for girls was high. Sometimes they would simply stop coming without telling me in advance.
Zhang believed if a girl is educated, she would have a different life. And she decided to remove as many obstacles to their education as possible. In 2008, she started her own girls-only school with no fees or admission requirements.
Difficulties soon came. Most of the students had weak academic foundation. Sometimes a girl would ask the same question over and over again, but still have no clue of the solution.
But Zhang required her teachers to push the girls to be better academically, no matter where they started. Many thought this is impossible. Some even resigned. 6 out of the remaining 8 were all party members.
This is the duty and responsibility of CPC members. Aren't we communists the ones who work for the happiness of the people by taking the toughest jobs?
Zhang spared no efforts. She even moved into the school to live with her students. A daily fixture was her voice through the loudspeaker, reminding girls to be responsive, focused, and persistent. The efforts paid off. Over the past 13 years, 1,800 girls have been admitted to universities.
I feel like Teacher Zhang is like the sun. She has enlightened my life. My family is poor. If there was no Teacher Zhang and the school, I would have been living a life that is tied to the farmland.
Despite the difficulty of recruiting teachers in Huaping High School, Zhang Guimei has been trying her best to keep it running. It is her belief that her school has changed the lives of the poor girls in the mountains for the better. And her belief is borne out by these letters from the students, taking on jobs as police officers, doctors, and teachers all over the country. Zhou Yue, Lijiang in Yunnan Province.
And our reporter Su Yuting is standing by outside the Great Hall of People, where the award ceremony is going to kick off very soon. Yuting, what have you got for us? What's the atmosphere there?
Well, Dongning, I'm now standing at the East Gate of the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, and there will be a welcoming ceremony for the recipients of the July the 1st medal. And the awardees are expected to get in car and head towards here in around 45 minutes. And they're expected to be escorted by 21 motorcycles. And the state motorcycle escort is regarded as the top-level protocol arrangement and security measures. So it just demonstrated the significance of this event. And this is the first time the Communist Party of China has awarded the July the 1st medal, and it just comes ahead of the centenary celebrations on Thursday on July the 1st. It's kind of encouragement to the party members who have made great contributions. And I can sense the solemn and joyful atmosphere around me. And in front of me is Tiananmen Square, and the decorations and flowers have already brought here to celebrate this very significant event. And you can see that the the steps leading upwards to the Great Hall of the People are now just decorated with the red carpet. And now the soldiers will get ready to stand on both sides of the red carpet. And another group of the honor guards of the Chinese People's Liberation Army were also holding red flags in their hands. And there are 400 young people. They are students from universities and also the primary and middle schools here in Beijing. They are waiting for the arrival of the awardees and also welcome those medal recipients. And I just want to mention one detail. In addition to flowers, they also holding the national and party flags in their hands. And the party members among the college students are also wearing party badges on their chests. And all these students will be here to welcome the awardees. And they will also, shouting loudly, the meritorious party members, we salute you. That is kind of expression of their respect and determination, and also showing their respect to those awardees and also their determination to carry on the party spirit. And another detail I want to mention is that 3 of the 29 awardees have already passed away, and some of the others are in their 80s and 90s. And the oldest one is 101 years old, and 22 of them are here to attend the ceremony. And the most important one is that the security personnel are in significant numbers here, and the wheelchairs are also ready to ensure the seniors can enter into the Great Hall of the People without any problems. And when the awardees entered into the Great Hall of the People, they will be greeted by the leaders, and then the grand award ceremony will be held inside the Golden Hall. They are the ordinary people, but today they're officially recognized as the heroes among us for their extraordinary contributions to the party and the nation. Let's wait and welcome their arrival together. Back to you, Dongning.
Thank you very much, Yuting. So not all of the nominees are going to be present at the award ceremony, but it's an event worth anticipating indeed. Thank you very much, Su Yuting, reporting from the Great Hall of the People. And also among the nominees for the July the 1st medal is Liu Guijin, former Chinese ambassador to Zimbabwe and South Africa. Liu Guijin brought a fresh approach to Africa's diplomatic circles at a time when it was dominated by Western voices. And he shared his stories with CGTN anchor Zhou Yue.
So, Ambassador Liu, your experience in Africa was very deep and wide. You served as Chinese Special Representative for African Affairs. But I want to go back to the beginning. What is your first impression of Africa?
Well, I first went to Africa in the early 70s, last century. That was almost half a century ago. The deep impression left on me for Africa is that I found that Africa, particularly in a few of African countries like Kenya, where I worked for 5 years later, they were even better developed than China.
And I also know that you are friends of many of the politicians in Africa, for example, Mbeki, Mr. Mandela, and many others. What is your impression of these African leaders?
They understand China from the days when China supported them in their just struggle against the apartheid. The cases of South Africa is a brilliant example. For instance, Nelson Mandela and the local people called him Madiba. It was a little earlier, Mandela was having lunch with a governor from the northern province. When seeing me, well, my friend, the Chinese ambassador comes, so we end our lunch here. And we moved to his small sitting room. We chatted for almost an hour. With Africa as friends and on international affairs and international forum, China could readily get support, moral support, from Africa. So for young diplomats, my advice is that and they should pay more attention to Africa and attach more importance to Africa. To work in Africa is a good place for them to gain experiences and to develop friendship.
Now let's take a look at some other key awardees on the list.
Nominees of the July the 1st medal for this year come from different walks of life. Wang Zhanshan is a veteran soldier and CPC party member who participated in multiple battles during China's Civil War in the late 1940s. He fought courageously as a volunteer soldier in the war to resist U.S. aggression and aid Korea in the 1950s. Wang also joined China's defensive counterattack against Vietnam in the 1970s. Mehmet Zhang Wumer is being awarded for his fearless efforts to fight terrorism, separatism, and extremism in Xinjiang. He has been a leading figure on the front line, despite death threats from religious extremists. Mehmet Zhang worked as a party branch secretary of Bulikai village, Yining County in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region.
I'm a party member and a veteran cadre. I've always told cadres in my lesson, especially young people, how we achieved a time of happiness. It didn't come easily. This result was achieved under the correct leadership of the party and through the hard work of people of all ethnic groups.
Wu Tianyi is a Tajik cardiovascular expert and medical researcher. He was in charge of formulating medical procedures for high-altitude disease prevention and control. His efforts helped 140,000 workers who were building the Qinghai-Tibet Railway. The 87-year-old is also a scholar with the Chinese Academy of Engineering.
When choosing where to go, I'd ask which place is higher in altitude and which place is more remote or is the most remote of all, and I would go there.
Shi Guangying is a key figure in the building of a green Great Wall on the edge of Maosu Desert. Shi has dedicated his career to desertification control and forestation in China's west and has helped locals out of poverty via new business models. He was a former CPC party branch secretary in the Shilisha village, Shanxi province. Lan Tianye is a renowned Chinese artist. The 94-year-old is a former actor and director with the Beijing People's Art Theater. He contributed to dozens of well-known plays, including The Metamorphosis and Tea House, originally scripted by Cao Yu and Lao She, two famous Chinese playwrights. Lan was awarded National Outstanding Communist in 2016 for his profound achievements in art.
I was deeply impressed by Chairman Mao's works, including on coalition government, on new democracy, and China's two possible destinies. After the victory of the war of resistance against the Japanese aggression, China would have a different destiny. What path did China take to end nearly a century of foreign invasion and enslavement? The path led by the Communist Party of China.
All right, now let's get back to our studio guests, Mr. Wang Huiyao and Professor Xia Lu. Well, we've seen some of the introductions to the July the 1st medal nominees, and the people nominated for this award range from war veterans to people who helped end extreme poverty. But one thing they share in common is their perseverance and dedication, as we just discussed. So during the whole development of the CPC, how important is this spirit of perseverance and dedication, Professor Wang?
Well, I think it's very, very important. Actually, you know, no matter it's a country, it's a nation, or it's even a family. We need a spirit. We need some kind of a backbone, values and spirit. I think so. That is really important. That since the 100 years centennial development of CPC, you see the spirit of dedication, spirit of serving the people, spirit of sometimes for the good of the whole society is always there.
I have been asked by some friends from other countries that how can China, led by CPC, accomplish so many mission impossibles?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So that is one of the answers to that, is because first of all they have a vast number of party members, 90 million of them, largest party in the world probably. But also, most importantly, this party is with a dedication, with a mission, with a value, but also more important, with a good spirit of serving the people. I think that is really, in real terms, not just a slogan. So people do all the good things, people really helping each other, people really taking care of their, their society members. People are really thinking, let's for the for the collective of the prosperity of the country. So that's why China can achieve so many results, and also party can mobilize the society. It's by having those large first of us dedicated party members. I mean, they are setting examples for the society in doing the good things, in really fulfilling their duties, responsibilities. They are really they have a moral standards for that. So I think this is very important. Of course, that China doesn't really have very other things, but this kind of spirit guidance is important, because I think it's largely encouraging people to do the good, encouraging people to really serving the people, the country, and of course helping others. I think the example we have in the awardees we just see are really great examples. They're working in the rural areas. They are helping. Yeah, they're working in Africa. They are working in all those different fields. So also all walks of life. So that is exactly that makes China tick. That makes China working. Is exactly we have those number of people with high standards of them that they fulfill their duties as CPC members.
Professor Xia, you are facing a lot of young people, young students in universities. When talking about CPC's leadership and also party members, how do they understand the party and the members?
Well, in my class, I try to use kind of stories, especially those kind of leader stories, to explain the kind of so-called abstract theory to them. Because the younger generation, they kind of they could be more attracted to stories. Like when Chairman Mao was in their age, for example, when Chairman Mao just graduated from Hunan University as a kind of 21 or 22 years old, what did he do, and how did he imagine his future, and what did he plan his kind of plan, and what was the kind of Zhou Enlai did when he was in France, this kind of thing. In my opinion, that nowadays the younger generation, the university students, they are kind of they like this. They like to hear this kind of story. And when I explain this story, this party history, to the younger students, I try to focus on one keyword, and that's the not keyword, just one sentence, to holding on something unremittingly. We are facing a lot of obstacles. We are facing a lot of difficulties every day, every hour, every minute. But we cannot escape just from this kind of thing. So this problem, this difficulty couldn't just disappear. When we just we don't look at them, but they're still there. So we have to face onto them, and we just tackle the problem one by one. So when I explain the party history and the experience, one of the key experience of the party history is that the party never escaped from the difficulties, and they tackle the problem one by one. And when they tackle enough problem, success will
being
just come.
Pragmatic is one of the most important features for the CPC. And one of the nominees on the list is school principal Zhang Guimei, as we've seen just now, who traveled to a poor mountainous region in Yunnan province in southwest China and founded the first free high school for girls. And we have also on the list, who unfortunately passed away, Huang Wenxiu, who died in the process of her dedication, her contribution to the rural education. How well, under those people's efforts, how well has the rural education been developing from almost scratch in some very, very extremely poor arees?
I think that is probably one of the most important virtue of China, of Chinese people and also CPC members, is that make a sacrifice, dedication for the goodness of the other people. And I think this is sometimes, a lot of foreign friends don't really understand how CPC works, but this gives a very concrete example that's embodies into a concrete person, full of life and blood, and they are doing the remote areas, in the rural areas. The two examples you've given, they're helping on the education on the rural areas, lifting the girls into more modern education. It's remarkable. We have a lot of good story like that, and it's all have been done by party members. So they have to set example. They have to take the lead. They have to really fulfill their obligations as a party member. So a party member is not just for the privilege, for the all the recognition, but also for sacrifice, for hard working, for dedication, and for resilience. You have to really work hard to earn that. So I think those are set of good examples of all the good members.
Right, and as what you said, can inspire as big inspiration to other people to do the same good deed as well. We'll be getting back to you, gentlemen, for more discussion. Now let's take a look at some other news in China. Chinese and Russian leaders have said the two countries are extending a 20-year-old cooperation treaty. The announcement during their video meetings comes just 2 days ahead of the centenary of the Communist Party of China on July the 1st. Zhou Jiaxin tells us more.
The world's two largest neighboring countries have more worth celebrating this year. The 100th birthday of the CPC in just 2 days, and the 20th anniversary of the signing of the China-Russia Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation in 3 weeks. Now, the leaders agreed to prolong the treaty.
Mutual trust has steadily grown over the past 2 decades, with steadfast political support and shared progress in various fields. The two countries' close cooperative relationship has used multilateralism in the United Nations, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, BRICS, Belt and Road Initiative to help resolve pressing global issues. The extension of the Friendship Treaty signifies an unprecedented high level for bilateral ties and an unwavering way forward for the two powers in a positive and healthy manner.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has described the Sino-Russian relations as matured, stable, solid, adding it can weather changes on the global stage. Russian President Vladimir Putin has extended wishes to China's continuous progress in economic and social development and its significant role in global affairs under the CPC's leadership. Both expressed opposition to unilateralism and interference in others' internal affairs in the protest of democracy and human rights. The latest meeting comes less than 2 weeks after the highly anticipated Geneva summit between President Putin and his U.S. counterpart Joe Biden. The Biden White House has scrambled to restore its relations with European allies at G7 and NATO and ease tensions with Russia amid what it calls growing competition with China.
China-Russia relations have a solid foundation. It hasn't been affected by other major powers, even though the US has tried to meddle in it. The partnership has its inherent demand, and some negative interpretations are unfounded.
Experts say Beijing has been an ardent advocate for a new type of inter-country relationship, focusing on no conflict, non-confrontation, mutual respect, as well as win-win cooperation. China and Russia are looking to shed old great power politics driven by alliances and confrontation, spearheading this more inclusive form of international relations. CGTN, Beijing.
Now, for some insights on China-Russia relations, we earlier talked to Associate Professor Zhang from the School of Advanced International and Area Studies at East China Normal University.
Overall, I think in the past two decades, we see a series of fundamental changes in the international system. Diffusion of power, loss of moral high grounds of Western liberalism, U.S. hegemony. On the other hand, we do observe a lack of leadership and a crippling multilateral institutions, while we have such daunting challenges like global warming and the COVID-19. I think this is the larger context we should look at Sino-Russian relationship. I think the two leaders through these video conferences, again, are sending a strong signal to the world. On the one hand, there are serious problems with the international system right now, and both countries are committed to promoting a set of rules and ideational goals for a more fair, more equal international, more democratic international system. On the other hand, I think there's something significant in the recent statements from national leaders. We see a shift from a more reactive attitude towards international context, gradually to a more proactive attitude between China and Russia's collaboration. We see more and more convergence and coordination from both countries to provide new ideas, engage in more ideational collaborations, and possibly to provide more public goods on a global level from China and Russia. I think that's the important message delivered through this video conference and a similar context from the top leaders of China and Russia.
And the world's second largest hydroelectric power station after the Three Gorges Dam has begun operation in southwestern China. President Xi Jinping sent a letter of congratulation as two of the generating units at the Baihetan Dam went on stream. And he described the project as one of the world's most technically challenging and stressed its importance on transferring power from the relatively less developed western part of China to the highly industrialized east. And he also highlighted its role in helping the country to achieve its targets for peaking carbon dioxide emissions and carbon neutrality. Da Kai-yi tells us more.
This hydropower station right here behind me is currently the world's second largest, and on top of the list, of course, is the Three Gorges Dam in central China's Hubei province. And the Baihetan Dam currently has a capacity of 16 million kilowatts and is able to generate more than 62 billion kilowatt hours of electricity a year. And it's worth mentioning that the dam is equipped with the world's first 1 million kilowatt power units. And I have to say that those units are 100% domestically designed, manufactured, and installed in China, which is why the engineers in charge of the construction have been saying that this level of achievement it's enough to put China to the top of the Mount Chimollama in terms of the hydropower equipment manufacturing. And the Baihetan Dam officially goes into operation and start generating power from today. And of course, we're only talking about the first batch of power units going into service, and they are unit number 1 on the left bank and number 14 on the right. As one of China's major projects for transferring power generated in western regions to the east, the power generated by the first batch of power units this time around will mainly go to the eastern provinces of Jiangsu and Zhejiang, about 2,000 kilometers away from the dam. And for the station to run at full capacity, we'll have to wait till this time next year. By then, the dam's total generating capacity in a single day will be enough to meet the electricity consumption needs of 15 million people. Well, the dam here is meant to be part of the world's largest new energy corridor, and when it goes fully operational, it's going to be able to reduce carbon dioxide emission by more than 50 million tons each year. And that's definitely going to be a big step up for China to peak its carbon emissions and reach carbon neutrality by the middle of the century. Beijing, CGTN, Liangshan, the Autonomous Prefecture, Sichuan Province.
Now, the Baihetan hydropower station is located downstream from the Jinsha River, which is in the upper stretches of China's Yangtze River, bordering the provinces of Yunnan and Sichuan in the southwest. After more than a decade of research and prep work, construction began on the main section of the Baihetan Dam in August 2017, and completion of some parts began in June last year, and the station was officially established in February this year. The first filling of the dam began on April the 7th. And Baihetan is said to be equipped with world-leading technology. It has a capacity of 16 million kilowatts, just second in the world after China's Three Gorges Dam. And the scale of its underground grottos is said to be the largest in the world, with a total length of 217 kilometers. You're now watching our special coverage on the award ceremony for the July the 1st medal, which will be presented by President Xi Jinping to the nominees. And as we wait for the ceremony to begin, let's talk again to our studio guests, Professor Wang Huiyao and Professor Xia Lu. Professor Wang, there are ethnic nominees, as we mentioned, as we noticed on the list. Ethnic minorities have been nominated are Ting Ba-Tie from Inner Mongolia, and Wu Tianyi from Xinjiang, and Droka from Tibet. How do their identities as a CPC party member fit in the work to unite different ethnic groups?
Well, I think it's also very important. You know, China is a country with diversity, but particularly it has 56 minorities as well. I mean, in China, so they are their ethnic representation is very important as well. And then also, normally, the ethnic minority, they live sometimes in the remote areas like western provinces like Xinjiang or Tibet. So it's important in those western provinces. We have to really fully display their talent, display their working spirit, and also they have to rally under the CPC, but also they can promote the regional development. So what you see, what happened in Tibet, what you have seen happen in Xinjiang, is it transformed beyond recognition. People are really getting a very up to modern life now, and it's also people are satisfied with their works and living. So I think those party members there can better connect those remote provinces with the central government, with the regional government, but also they can promoting the ethnic interests as well, representing them, voice their support and their concerns in the parties as well. So I think it's a great mechanism that we have many party members among those ethnic groups, which helps the country, helps their regional development. I think that's why those actually, minority places are developed sometimes faster than the mainland. For example, Xinjiang has one of the highest GDP growth, better than average of the mainland. So you see that, and Tibet as well. Tibet has also preserved very well of its culture and its environment.
So the example set by the ethnic minority party members are very crucial.
It's
indeed.
Important.
Yeah,
in
local development indeed. And it's not easy job to unite all 56 ethnic groups in China, indeed. So Professor Xia, how would you describe the current status of China doing that, to unite all people together?
Well, in my opinion, actually, everyone has different kind of identities, and there exists an order of the identity. So in my opinion, this kind of minor ethnic group candidates of the 29, they just identify themselves as a member, as a component to Chinese nationality. The first identify themselves as the member of the Chinese nationality, and then they identify themselves as the member of the CPC. So, well, it is their job. It is their kind of, they have just, devote themselves to the great cause of not only the party but also the Chinese nationality. So I think this is the the significance that attached to their contribution, and this is the meaning that we have to get from the fact that they got awarded.
Right, and we are seeing actually increasing number of minority party members, and they account for bigger and bigger share of the whole Communist Party member. So what does that tell us? Why are we seeing more and more ethnic minority party members?
Well, I think this is very significant, very, very important, because Communist Party is in charge in China, is the power that governing the country, is the leading force in China as well. So we have more minority members into the party, which shows a great representation, a great to let them function in big events.
We have to leave it there. We are seeing that the medal nominees or the awardees are passing the Tiananmen Square, and they are soon going to arrive at the Great Hall of People and receive the award from President Xi Jinping in a moment, which will give you a live coverage. And let's continue our discussion with the studio guests. The people on the list actually, as we mentioned, has a big variety of working fields, from soldiers, veterans, to people working for science and technology, for instance. Environmental contributions are also being awarded. For example, Shi Guangyin, one of the awardees, has worked to beat back desertification through forest management. So in general, how important does his work fit in China's high quality development?
Very important. I think the 29 candidates selected for the awardees are absolutely well chosen, because they are representing minorities, representing different walks of life, rural areas, but also representing those new areas like
as
environment.
As we speak, we're also seeing that the awardees, the bus carrying the awardees are approaching the Great Hall of People. And they're going to arrive at the Great Hall of People very soon and receive the medals, the July the 1st medals from Chinese President Xi Jinping. Altogether, 29 awardees are going to be awarded with a medal. And this is the highest honor of the Communist Party of China. And as we can see that the camera is zooming in on Tiananmen at the Gate of Heavenly Peace, and also we are seeing children waiting to welcome all the awardees. This is in the front of the Great Hall of the People. And at this same place, actually, where another very important occasion happened in China, the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949, which happened at Tiananmen Rostrum. In the hearts of many Chinese people, Tiananmen stands for the bravery and perseverance of the Chinese people in fighting for their freedom, for the country's independence. And in modern development, the people represented by those awardees are fighting hard for their own happiness and for the strong development of the country. And as we mentioned, actually, those people made great and important, significant contributions to the country's development. People will never forget them, will remember them forever. They are from the ordinary people. So how big inspiration do you think this award ceremony to the ordinary people?
Well, I think it's very, very inspirational. It's, that in China, there always people follow the good examples, follow the models, follow the pioneers. So I think the CPC actually selected the 29 outstanding party members, which out of the all walks of life, which actually have done a lot of good deeds, have contributed significant to their own area, but also in the region and also to the country. So I think by selecting them is very important.
And we are seeing from inside the bus where those awardees are taking to the Great Hall of People to receive the medal. Among them, I saw Ma Maojie, who was born in 1935, joined the Communist Party of China in 1954. And when she was 14, very heroically, she became a heroine in the Yangtze River crossing campaign during the War of Liberation. And the bus is still crossing over the Chang'an Avenue to reach the Great Hall of the People. And another recipient on the bus is diplomat Liu Guijin, as we mentioned, is an old friend of Professor Wang and to us as well, who worked nearly 40 years promoting friendship and cooperation with Africa. Well, first of all, how much do you think China has achieved in that regard?
Well, I think it has achieved enormously. I mean, there are 55, 56 nations of African. China has worked a long way back. Actually, I remember my father actually worked in the Tanzania-Zambia Railway 50 years ago. So it's incredible that this China-African relationship is developed well. I think by selecting one ex-officials working in the development of African shows China still attaches great importance for party members to work internationally with different countries, and particularly to supporting and add developing countries. That's where Mr. Liu has actually all his life has most involved in African countries.
It's how lucky it is that we have so many outstanding members of the CPC and also other ordinary people making contributions to China's development. Well, let's take a look at how this event has been formed. In order to mark the centenary of the CPC Central Committee has decided to award the July the 1st medal for the first time. And in accordance with the intra-party award regulations, medals and honorary titles released by the CPC Central Committee in 2017, the July the 1st medal, which has been initiated by the CPC Central Committee, represents the highest honor of the CPC. In general, it will be granted every 5 or 10 years to celebrate major anniversaries of CPC. So this is the first, but not the last. It is going to be a regular event. And the candidates for the July the 1st medal must meet 4 requirements. We mentioned how people are being selected, or how the awardees have been selected. They have to meet 4 requirements. They must adhere to firm ideas and convictions and be loyal to the party. They must strengthen their consciousness of the need to maintain political integrity, think in big picture terms, follow the leadership core and keep in alignment. They must enhance confidence in the path, theory, system and culture of socialism with Chinese characteristics. And they are still on the way on the China Avenue to the Great Hall of the People. This is also the most significant day, one of the most significant days for themselves, I think. And those people are selected because they have made outstanding contributions to China's revolution, construction and reforms, as well as the building of a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and the battle against poverty and great new project of party building. And they should be, they are role models in terms of morality and conduct, and should have created precious spiritual treasure, and they have significantly influenced the party and whole society and received high praise. Comes to the mention of selection process of the July the 1st medal, it followed a correct political direction and also sound political criteria, and it will also focused on achievements, followed principle of openness, justice and equity, and strictly implemented the selection procedures, which included a nomination, preliminary review, examination, deliberation and public announcement. And also I saw some comments on the internet after those public announcement of the list, and especially some young people. I can judge they are young people who are not very familiar, probably not familiar with CPC or the function of CPC or function of CPC members. They say, oh my God, I didn't know that those party members actually, they did a brilliant job at their respective fields. So is it necessary for those young people to get educated?
Well, I think it's so important that when they look at CPC.
This award ceremony is a very fine form of education to the young people as well.
It is a great ceremony. It's a great display of the good spirit of those model CPC members. But it's actually put into that in person. When people look at not only in China young people but also around the world, when they look at CPC, probably they think of just the party government. But here, individual members, concrete person with life and blood, and actually they are really making great contributions.
With life and blood, because when we talk about or mention CPC members to especially young people, they would think this is an abstract concept, and now they are being presented as very solid individual with solid achievements.
Well, one point I would like to add is that if we want to educate the younger generation, we have to tell them, according to this kind of 29 candidates, that these 29 candidates, they don't do this. They don't do this for the award. They do their job for what they have to do. They do this for what they what they're supposed to do. This is their job. So they are ordinary people, but they are also heroes, because when you do something special, when you insist on doing this kind of thing for more than 3 decades, 4 decades, and then, well, the society will recognize the contribution and will attach the significance to this contribution. So this is what we need to educate our younger generation, because too much they are hoping for focus, too much they are hoping for to get noticed by the society and other people. But they lack some kind of experience of to do their the real job, to do what they are supposed to do. Yeah.
So those ceremonies, this ceremony is very important and very inspiring as well. And actually, this medal is the 5th in China's highest order of honor system, in addition to the Medal of the Republic, which is very important as well. And the 1st medal, mainly to the Army, and the Friendship Medal to the foreign talents working in China, and national titles of honor as well. And people must be very curious about this medal, as the buses that carrying the awardees are passing Tiananmen Square. The medal, it has been made through more than 10 processes. Can you imagine that? 60% of them are handmade ones, and the main colors are red, gold, and white. It is crafted by using cold pressing, filigree inlay, and colored silk brocade, etc., with elements of party emblem, of course, and 5-pointed star, flag, monument, and light, and sunflowers, and mountains and rivers, and propitious clouds. And the party emblem embodies the party's leadership and core status. The 5-pointed star symbolizes the lofty ideals of communism and passing of the fire. I'll continue to introduce the significance of the medal. And we are seeing that the buses have arrived in front of the Great Hall of People, and the young pioneers are welcoming them. They are the future of China, welcoming the people, the party members who have made their life happier. And they're going to receive the fire passed on from their older generation, from those outstanding CPC members, to continue to build a stronger country in China. And the awardees are stepping out of the buses now, entering the Great Hall of the People, and they're going to be awarded with the July the 1st medal by President Xi Jinping. And the medal itself is kind of different from other medals. There are, as we mentioned, the party emblem, 5-pointed star, flag, monument, and light, sunflowers, mountains, and rivers, and propitious clouds. And the monument and light symbolizes the close unity of the party and the country around the party's center. And the mountains and rivers reflect the ideas of party members, and the propitious clouds imply the prosperity and harmonious development of the motherland, and the flag imply under the leadership of the party will strive forever for the realization of revolutionary ideals. Different from the metal medal chain of the national medals and the national honorary medals, the July the 1st medal uses fabric ribbons and sunflower light, starlight, and other elements, as we can see. We'll see in just now. And this is Ma Maojie, one of the awardees of the medal. She was born in 1935 and joined the Communist Party of China in 1954. And when she was 14, she became heroine in the Yangtze River crossing campaign during the War of Liberation. She crossed the river 6 times under a hail of bullets and successfully sent 3 People's Liberation Army units through the river. And here comes Wang Shumao, who has been named as a guardian of the South China Sea. The 65-year-old man is the deputy head of the militia in Tanmen Township in the southern province of Hainan. He has been a member of Communist Party of China for 25 years already, and over the decades one has participated in the construction of Nansha Islands and trained civilian forces to safeguard China's territorial integrity and maritime rights in the South China Sea. And we can see that those awardees are given the highest salute, the highest protocol by the nation. And senior officials are going to receive them at the entrance of the Great Hall of the People, congratulating them for receiving this award. And this is Ma Maojie, who has made great contributions to the liberation of China and the founding of the People's Republic of China. A great veteran. And this is Wang Zhanshan. He's a former advisor of the Anyang Military Division in Henan Province. He was born in 1929, and he was also deputy to the 4th and 5th National People's Congress. He joined the Communist Party of China in 1948, and as a war veteran, Wang participated in China's War of Liberation, the war to resist US aggression and aid Korea, and the defensive counterattack against Vietnam. And Wang has been awarded the title of second-level combat hero by the Chinese People's Volunteer Army. And the young pioneers are holding flowers and also the party flag to congratulate and welcome all the awardees' arrival. And this is Wang Lanhua, 71-year-old now. She has dedicated much of the past decade to volunteer work. She's a member of the Hui ethnic minority and has been with the Communist Party of China for 26 years. She's led a charity in town in the northwestern Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region. And she's led volunteers in thousands of events and dispute settlements, assisting those in need. Her group has grown from 7 volunteers into 65,000 members. She has received awards for her work representing women and ethnic minorities, promoting national unity. And what we are seeing is the Great Hall of the People, where major national events are held. And here's Ai Guo, known as an outstanding representative of Chinese technical workers. He's a 71-year-old now, and he's the chief supervisor of the Welding Association of Central China's Hunan Province. He has served as a representative of the 15th National Congress of the CPC and a deputy to the 7th National People's Congress, China's top lawmaking body. And is known for his multiple contributions to welding technology during his 5-decade career. As a leading figure in the field, she has trained hundreds of welders throughout the country. And this is Shi Guangyin, 69-year-old Shi Guangyin is the former CPC secretary in Shilisha village, Shanxi province. He joined the party in 1973 and was a delegate to the party's 18th National Congress. His work has been dedicated to desert and forest management. One of his achievements is building what's called a green Great Wall on the edge of a Musu Desert. It was constructed over the course of 4 decades. And here comes a great artist in China, Liu Guijin, film composer, and he was one of the first symphony composers in the People's Republic of China. He's a former official at the Shanghai Film Studio. A 91-year-old musician joined the Communist Party of China in 1945. Over the past 70 years, composed hundreds of songs and soundtracks for movies and television, including Railway Gorillas and Thunderstorms. And Liu Guijin also wrote more than 10 symphonies. Ode to the Red Flag remains popular. He's won many honors, of course, including Lifetime Achievement Award from the Chinese Golden Bell Music Awards. And here comes Ting Batie, we mentioned earlier. He was born in 1955. He's a member of the 13th National Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. He joined the Communist Party of China in 1976 and has worked in pastoral areas for nearly 50 years, devoted to developing the economy while protecting the environment. Production and life of herders have changed greatly since. And the awardees that have come into the Great Hall of People are being welcomed again by the major national leaders along the corridor. And here comes our old friend Liu Guijin, who was born in 1945. He has been a member of the Communist Party of China for 50 years. He was an ambassador and worked on developing China's relations with Africa for nearly 40 years. And now in his mid-70s, Liu still plays an active role in deepening China-Africa cooperation. And here comes Mem Zhang. Umar is the former CPC secretary of Bulikai village in the Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. He has dedicated over 30 years of service fighting against what's been called the 3 evil forces of terrorism, extremism, and separatism. He was a representative of the 18th CPC National Congress and has been awarded as National Outstanding Party member. And this is Li Hongta, who was born in Laoting, Hebei Province. Is a former vice chairman of Anhui Provincial Committee of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference. He was also a member of the National Committee of the 11th and 12th CPPCC. The 72-year-old worked in civil affairs for 18 years, spending at least half the time catering to monitors and the elderly, whom he says he considers as family. And this is Wu Tianyi, who was born in Yili in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. He is an academician at the Chinese Academy of Engineering and a former researcher at a specialist hospital for heart and brain diseases in northwestern China's Qinghai province. The 87-year-old is known as a pioneer in high-altitude medicine in China, with over 5 decades of work in medical research. And here comes Zhang Guimei, who was born in Xiuyuan, Liaoning Province. She's the Communist Party branch secretary and principal of Huaping Senior High School for girls in Lijiang. And in Yunnan Province, she's also the head of a shelter for homeless children in Huaping County. She has been working in poor areas for over 40 years and founded the first free high school for girls in China. And her work has helped nearly 2,000 girls in remote areas get admitted to universities. She has been awarded National Outstanding Party Member, National Advanced Worker, and a lot of other titles. She is one major representative of millions of Chinese who have been dedicating to the poverty alleviation work in China. And here comes Lin Dan, who's from the ethnic Han group. She was born in 1948 in southeast China's Fuzhou in Fujian province. Lin joined the Communist Party of China in 1985. For over 40 years, she worked in the residential communities to improve governance. In doing so, government agencies could more efficiently address residents' needs. Lin initiated the Day of Talk in communities for officials to better understand their constituents. And here is Zhang Guimei entering the Great Hall of People and being received by the major national leaders, congratulating her for the award. And here comes Zhang, who is a Tibetan. Zhang, she was born in 1961 and joined the Communist Party of China in 1996. Is a part-time vice chairperson of the Tibet Autonomous Region Women's Federation, a representative of the 13th National People's Congress. And Zhou Yongkai was born in 1928 in Beijing in southwest China's Sichuan province and joined the Communist Party of China in 1945. He's a former deputy secretary of the party's Daxian Prefecture District Committee. He devoted himself to local poverty eradication projects and also led people to plant trees and build a national nature reserve even after his retirement. And here comes Guo Ruixiang, who was born in 1920 in Wei County in Hebei province. He's already 101 years old and joined the Communist Party in 1937. He's a former deputy political committee member of the Duyun military sub-district, Guizhou province. He joined the revolution at the age of 16 and fought many battles before the People's Republic of China was founded in 1949. And Guo played a critical role for the CPC during the War of Liberation that lasted until 1949. And Guo Ruixiang lived a simple life and stayed true to the principles of the Red Army after retirement. And walking up the stairs now is Huang Dafao, who was born in 1935 in Zunyi, Guizhou province, and joined the Communist Party of China in 1959. Huang is the former party branch secretary of the Caowangba village in Zunyi city in mountainous Guizhou province. He once led villagers in a huge effort to dig a 7,200-meter long main canal and a 2,200-meter long branch canal in a cliff face for 36 years. And here's Huang Baomei. She's the former vice president of the trade union at a cotton textile factory in Shanghai. She's an exemplary representative of Chinese textile workers. Huang has been a witness, participant, and contributor to the nation's development. She has dedicated her life to providing Chinese with better clothing and made great achievements at her work. Huang was also involved in setting up multiple cotton textile factories even after she retired. She was named a national model worker twice. All the young pioneers and major national leaders are welcoming and congratulating the awardees. Now here comes Cui Daozhi, a former investigator at the Criminal Technology Division of the Heilongjiang Provincial Public Security Department. He was one of China's first criminal technology police officers. He's also a leading analyst of bullet marks. In Cui's 60-year career on criminal investigation, he has examined and investigated over 7,000 pieces of material evidence and analyzed difficult traces in more than 1,200 major cases. And stepping down from the bus is Lan Tianye. A lot of Chinese are very familiar with him. He's a former actor and director at Beijing People's Art Theatre. He has dedicated his life to the arts and made great contributions to Chinese dramas. And Lan contributed to dozens of famous plays, including Cao Yu's The Metamorphosis and Lao She's Tea House. And he has also been dedicating to training many talents in the drama field. And here comes Wei Deyu, who is a retired worker at the Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps. They've been patrolling China's borders for more than half a century, covering over 200,000 kilometers, which is about 5 times the length of the equator. Wei persuaded and prevented over 1,000 individuals from crossing the border. It has been called a living border monument. All the awardees are stepping into the Great Hall of People, where usually major, very important national events are held, like each year's 2 sessions and ceremonies like this to award the outstanding people making great contributions to China's development. All right, we've seen that all the awardees have entered the Great Hall of People, and in a moment they're going to receive their medal from Chinese President Xi Jinping. So stay tuned for that. And let's go back to our studio guests, Professor Wang Huiyao and Professor Xia Lu. All the awardees have been presented. We've met all of them, and I'm very surprised to see the big variety of their jobs. So the party members, the CPC party members, are actually scattered around almost every corner of the development of China's economy, China's sci-tech, and also in Chinese military as well.
Yeah, I think this is really a great representation of the CPC party members. So there are not many officials, but they are really, true figures. They are dedicated. The persons like, average persons, but working in the remote area, coming from ethnic background, from workers, soldiers, and all walks of life. But the country, the party award them highest honor. They've been received at the Great Hall of People with such a welcoming ceremony, but also going to be awarded soon by President Xi Jinping to them for their dedication, for their deeds, for their great work for the country and for the party as well. So I think China needs that, because China is a huge country with 1.4 billion people, and then you have these 19 million party members. Set good examples, working hard and working in the field. And that's really the support the whole country to function well. That's why I think one of the key success factors China has is have such a dedicated party members.
It's amazing, because the Communist Party of China is now the biggest party in the world, with more than 90 million party members. But can you imagine that it began with more than 50 party members, and when the People's Republic of China was founded, it had 4 million, and now 90 million. How does that happen, Professor Xia?
Actually, this is the key to the development of the party, and I couldn't help but remembering the nature of the party. So the nature actually is the vanguard of the proletariat, the working class, but it is also the vanguard of a Chinese nation, the entire Chinese nation. So in order to represent the entire Chinese nation, it has to, had a very broad representation. So we have seen that among these 29 candidates, we have seen workers, the representative of workers, we have seen the representative of the rural resident, the rural kind of the party secretary, and we have also seen the representative of the police officer, and we have also seen those kind of the scientists and the actor, the artist. So the party just represent, like you said, each and every corner of the society, and where there is Chinese people, there should be a party organization, and where there is Chinese people, there should be a party member who are going to represent them, because the Communist Party of China, well, is supposed to be the vanguard of not only the working class but also the entire Chinese nation.
And the core of the CPC or CPC-led Chinese government is to serve for the people, and those CPC members, they are the people actually. I remember I read one piece of article read by the American journalist Jack Belden when he was here observing how the CPC grabbing the power and founded the People's Republic of China. He said that unlike the previous government, the Chinese people don't need to look up to their government, because they are part of the government, or they are governing their own country.
Well, I think they certainly, actually maximize the participation of all walks of life to the CPC. But also there are other, working party, democratic parties in China as well, but also support CPC. So CPC, as the largest party, they rallied the biggest denominator actually to gather all the strength to, for the central government to function very effectively across the country. They have the grassroots members, but also, the motto for the party member is serve the people, like Chairman Mao said many years ago. So I think that tradition is still on. For the party to function, for the country to function. That's why China can achieve so many miracles. Like you infrastructure-wise, you see you have a welding model party member being awarded. The infrastructure revolution in China, so many structure needs to be.
That's why our government is called the People's Government, and the Great Hall of the People, for instance. Well, and the same Jack Belden also observed that at the warring time in China, that the name of Mao Zedong was known to almost every household, and they all called him savior. How did CPC save China, Professor Xia?
Well, actually,
is it fair to say that China actually chose CPC?
Yes, Chinese people chose the CPC, and the CPC actually could fulfill the task or the goal to save China from the bad situation which was originated in 1814, 180 years ago, when the foreign powers invaded China, exploited China. So Chinese nation, Chinese people couldn't save themselves, and they relied on generations kind of elites. They relied on this kind of Western powers to help them to import technology, to import institutions, to even import the new thoughts. However, it still couldn't help Chinese people, Chinese nation. And then the CPC just came in and tell the Chinese people that you couldn't rely on other forces to save you, just rely on yourself. And we come here to help you, to form the identity, to form this kind of class consciousness, to form this kind of why we are fighting for, for yourself. So I think the key to the success and the victory of the CPC is that the great cause is not that great. Everyone can feel themselves into the great cause. So there is a connection between the great cause and each and everyone's, let's say, their personal experience of the great needs of the cause.
So in other words, the great cause actually, the idea was generated from the people, from their practices, from their pursuit.
Yes, yes, right. Because this is to say that the CPC, the great cause of
it's
the
not
CPC,
abstract thinking or ideal set up by the government only.
Exactly, it is not ideological. Like what we are seeing in the article, the truth lies in the fact. The truth lies in the way to solve the problem, not in some kind of a slogan, the ideological. You are not saving the country by shouting slogan, shouting ideology. You are saving the country by tackling each and every problems and make people feel that their life is getting better and better.
Right.
Okay.
So CPC actually suits China.
Yeah.
So it's a cat who cats the rats in
Yes.
China,
Yes.
as Deng Xiaoping said.
Yes.
Well, when we talk about revolutions, China, the CPC actually gained its position in China by revolutions. But revolutions does not only mean armed revolutions, it also means mild revolutions, like the reform and opening up is also kind of revolutions that CPC went through during its development indeed. So what does this kind of mild revolution, like the reform and opening up, mean to China?
Well, absolutely. Reform and opening up is probably one of the greatest things happening on earth for China, and has a huge implication for the world as well, because China, ticked off from 1978 since China opening up and reform. And I think one of the difficult things for a big country like 1.4 billion people with a vast a third or the largest geographically diverse country in the world, you need to build consensus. You need to build. You really get people thinking on the same wavelength, and then you have to do that by first through party members. I mean, they have to really carry out party objective and mission, because if that is properly set, if through all kind of consultation with other parties, non-affiliates and democratic in the process, so they can make a scientific decision, and then you have to implement that. If you have to implement, you really need a lot of party members to really be the the pioneers and be the first to do the job. So I think this kind of system, it's probably a new kind of a very new reform and a new development in China that China found that suits Chinese practice. With thousands of year history, always a strong central government. But now central government with all those party members, it's something modern, right? I mean, that is really great to build consensus, to rally the masses, to really making people dedicated, also to really carry on all those transformation that you haven't seen in the modern history of mankind, particularly lifting 800 million people out of poverty. I think the party members have done a tremendously great job. How can you call people to work in the remote areas, the poor areas, sacrifice themselves? They have to have some kind of beliefs. They have to have some values and dedication. And party member had to do that.
Right.
So those are the really great
contributions. We have to
contributions.
thank the people who thank not only the people who created the new China, but also thank for the people who created the new era. Indeed, I'll be getting back to you for more discussions. Well, the nominees for the July the 1st medal have already arrived at the Great Hall of the People, where an award ceremony will soon begin. And our reporter Zhao Yunfei is joining us from the scene. Hello there, Yunfei. So I can see that people are waiting for the ceremony to kick in. So what's the atmosphere there?
Absolutely, Dongning. Hey there. I'm right here in the Golden Hall at the Great Hall of the People. This is the place where Chinese top officials will meet their distinguished guests from around the world. This morning, the country's ruling party, Communist Party of China, will honor its distinguished member who made noble contribution to the country and the party. 29 people will be awarded July 1st medal today, this morning. Now, behind me is the stage where the awardees receive their medals, and as well as applause, of course, respect from the audience. Now, in about 30 minutes, President Xi Jinping, also the General Secretary of CPC Central Committee, will walk with awardees together to the Golden Hall. And General Secretary Xi will also deliver a speech during the ceremony. Now, July 1st honor, first medal is the highest honor in CPC's 100-year history. It's the timing is quite significant, as the award is a look back of the the party passed. If you take a look at the 29 awardees, and there are figures from a very diverse range of fields. Liu Guijin, he was a Chinese diplomat. He was the first special representative of Chinese government on African affairs, and was committed to China-African relationships for 4 decades. And there's also Jiang Umar. He is a Uyghur minority. He was devoted to ethnic unity and guided the economic development of Bulika village. Some of the awardees also lost their lives fighting for their country. There was Chen Hongjun, and he was fighting courageously against foreign military forces attack, and he lost his life during the clashes. And also, this is a time, opportunity for the party to recognize his service. Also, besides the 29 July 1st medal awardees, there are also the party has awarded recognizing about 300 outstanding party members, 200 party workers, and another 300 grassroots party organizations. In fact, the altruism is a trait can be seen on many party members, even those working away from the spotlight. For example, during the epidemic, medical workers and community workers step up to fight against the virus, and they will be able to contain the virus in a very short space of time. And also, with the efforts of countless cadres in the rural areas, China will be able to declare its victory over extreme poverty. Without the efforts of those grassroots members, none of the accomplishments could have been made. As the CPC marks its centenary, the party has also awarded memorial medal to its members who have served more than 50 years and have consistently performed well in their roles. They are the generation who have witnessed the glorious history of the party and have made huge contributions to the country's development. Some of the senior party members have also joined the audience group in today's event. Now, celebrating the past is just one thing. At this historic moment, it's also important to look ahead. Now that the Communist Party of China is one of the largest parties in the world with more than 90 million party members, and that is about 6% of China's total population. For grassroots members, the awardees are role models, and the July 1st medal is a spiritual icon that encourages party members from all walks of life to keep up their good work and to selflessly serve the country. Dongying.
Thank you very much, Zhang Fei, reporting from the Great Hall of the People, from the site where the award ceremony is going to start quite soon, where President Xi Jinping is going to award all the awardees that have arrived at the Great Hall of the People that we've seen just now. While in China, there are over 91 million CPC members. That makes the Communist Party of China the strongest and the biggest and strongest party in China. Apart from develop itself, actually, during the process of development, the CPC has been cooperating with other parties. So, Professor Wang, can you tell us more or elaborate on how China's cooperation with other parties,
yes,
not only communist parties, but also other kind of parties?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, people thought China only have one party, but actually China has a democratic party, but also other non-affiliated, non-democratic, figures as well. And then the system working in China is that those working parties, that works very closely with the CPC. They form the political consultation process in China. For example, the CPC, China political. CPC actually conducts a meeting regularly, seek opinions from different other parties as well. So there's a democratic decision-making process. I think that is really great. Is that you have a CPC as a strong party that as an executing leading party in China, but also have other participating party that really give different opinions, balance and checks and everything.
That's what we call new type of China's political party system.
So this kind of consultation process is really great, so that they can have one 5-year plan after another 5 years plan. They always aimed at one objective to work on, with, of course, modification, changes, and seeking the truth from the fact, and being monitoring by all the other parties as well. So I think this process works, quite well in China, very well in China, because they don't have the against for the opposition for the sake of opposition, really make things efficient, effective, and that's where I think that's China can done so many things, become the largest trading nation with 130 countries and the second largest economy, because in a short 4 decades of time. It's because that the system is quite stable and also quite supportive, quite well consulted, well discussed, well debated, very efficient, and that's very, very effective.
It will never, the endless discussion on what we eat today will never happen. So there's no opposing for the sake of opposition, indeed. Professor Xia, well, after seeing all those brilliant people arriving at the Great Hall of People who are going to receive the very precious medal, one question might comes into the non-party member people's mind: how to become a party member? Who are qualified as a party member?
Yes, this is a very interesting question, and it happens every day. So nowadays, the party or Communist Party membership has been very attractive to almost all walks of life. I have seen a lot of younger students, they're applying to join the party, but party actually has the kind of criteria or the standardized process to accept or to admit normal people to become a party member. First, they have to, of course, they have to above some kind of age for above 18, and also they have to be very good. They have to be, let's say, top in their specific field. For example, if they are students, they have to be good, and if they are workers, they have to be good. If they are kind of farmers, they have to be good. They have to be good because the Communist Party of China, as we just mentioned, is the vanguard of the working class, and it is also the vanguard of the Chinese nationality, Chinese nation. So the party try to attract and try to admit all the good member and talented people, and this kind of I would like to say not use the elite, but I would use the best one of each and every kind of categories to join the party, to make the party even stronger. And one of the other kind of factors or features, natures to the party is that the party itself does not launch the revolution to the society. The party actually launched the revolution to itself. So it clean itself, it purify itself regularly to add more new blood, new kind of elements into its body, into its organization. So we are seeing 91 million party members, but we are seeing 91 active and energetic, this kind of party members. Like one of the founders of the CPC, Chen Dushu, said when he wrote article for the New Jews, keep young while growing old. So we are seeing that the Communist Party is already 100 years old, but the party is young because the party is facing the new kind of challenges in the future. So it can attract all the good factors, good elements in the society to the party. Yeah.
Right, and your correction just now is very important because people who are qualified and has the will to join the CPC is a potential party member. They're not elites. They are also ordinary people.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. We'll be getting back to you for more discussion. Well, in China, there are over 91 million CPC members, but what's it like to be a party member? We go to northeast China's Shenyang city to ask people what makes CPC members different from others.
I don't think there are many differences between CPC members and other people, but compared with ordinary people, CPC members work harder.
CPC members pay attention to people's livelihood. For example, during the coronavirus outbreak, many CPC members living in our district helped and supported other residents. CPC members always have other people in mind and help them so that they can have a prosperous life.
I believe CPC members come from the masses. People cannot live without the CPC leadership, and party members also need the support of people. We are one family.
I believe CPC members serve people wholeheartedly. They devote themselves to ordinary people.
CPC members have more responsibilities. For example, during the coronavirus outbreak and earthquakes, most CPC members went to the front line to help protect ordinary people.
And earlier we have invited foreign influencers to experience a day in the life of party members who work in various fields. But are they up for the challenge? Smirnova Anzelika from Latvia tries to do the job of a local community worker in Beijing's Xicheng district. Take a look.
Woo! It's a beautiful day. Hello everyone, my name is Angela and I'm from Latvia. I've been living in China for 13 years, and during this time I have always been curious about one thing. How does life and work of a CPC member look like? And guess what? Today we have a chance to meet an ordinary CPC member, and here is my task. So, what should we do? Aha! We will meet Xicheng Dama. So I know that Xicheng, it is a district of Beijing, and this is the place where we are right now. And Dama, it is a term for middle-aged Chinese women. But what are they doing? Who are they? I don't really know. So here's our meeting point, and we need to be there at 9 a.m. and I need to hurry up because it's already 9 a.m. Okay, so I think that this is the place. Community Service Center. Oh, someone is waiting for me. 您好，你好，你好，你好。好，是安泽吗？你好，你好。我想问一下，这是您吗？
是的，是的，我是后海社区服务站站长董文静。你好，欢迎你来到我们这里。
我今天的任务就是要向您学习，就是要体验一下你们的这个
社工生活。
对。
谢谢谢谢。那咱们先变装。
好，
来，
谢谢谢谢。哎呀 ，and here's my vest.
OK.
Okay. So I think I'm ready. Let's get the party started. 那我们要先做什么呢？
我们先去开早会，安排一天的工作，
直接开会了。天哪！So many people inside. I'm feeling a little bit nervous. Do I have to say something?
来，我给大家带来一位新朋友。
啊，你们好，你们好。And I was a little bit afraid when we came first here inside for the meeting because I'm a foreigner and maybe they will be a little bit afraid of me, and I was a little bit worried and nervous how we can build our communication. But I see that they're very easygoing and open-minded, so I felt this kind-hearted feeling going out from them. So they just wanted me to understand what's their life, and that's it. So this is how this cross-cultural communication goes, just talking and understanding each other.
那咱们接下来一会儿就话不多说，10点钟咱们就准时出发。
出发喽！Yay! The meeting is over. So we were talking about what are we going to do today, about our schedule, and our first task, we have to go around doing patrolling thing. So take a look about this area. So is everything okay? We need to keep this area clean and help people who need help. So let's go. 那西城大妈对我们来说，这个名字有点神秘，到底是谁是西城大妈呢？
其实所谓西城大妈呢，就是咱们西城区特有的一个西城大妈志愿者服务团队的代称。
哦，志愿者是吧？
对，咱们的大妈们呢，除了党员，还有很多都是居民。
也都是，你们都是在这边附近住是吧？
哦，大家的都是老爹嘛。对。
哇，那当时是为什么想要加入呢？
退休了。为这个社区也贡献一份那个力量，完了他们也确实挺辛苦的，社区工作人员。
谁有事儿了帮谁，我们有事儿我们也找他们，他们有事儿来找我们，
就互帮互助的。
咱们，哎，你好，
一下啊，你们是社工啊？
啊，对，
还有外国人呢。
今天是我的第一天啊，很高兴为您服务。
啊，我是想打听一下，转了半天也没找着那个宋庆龄故居怎么走啊？
就是您找的那个故居是往前走500米，
对，右手边宋庆龄，对，走500米啊，右手边啊。
好嘞，
玩得开心。
老百姓一看到红马甲就会过来咨询各种问题。安泽，你看到了吧？这是咱们上午的垃圾分类活动现场。
好热闹啊！
我要开始给你布置工作了。
好的，我准备好了。
首先呢，就是你跟那个垃圾咱们这个工作人员，完了一同向咱们辖区的居民还有游客发一下这个垃圾分类宣传手册。
好，
给大家大概讲解情况。
好，那我们一起来吧。
来。
您好啊，垃圾分类啊，这边有垃圾分类的手册啊，好嘞，谢谢啊，多多了解一下哈。Look at this brochure, very cute, and it will tell us more about garbage sorting. So we have this 4 dustbins, different colors, but if you don't know what you should put inside, so here you have more information. Classify to brief. And this is my second duty. We're gonna play a game and introduce to our residents who are you this garbage and where we should put it in which dustbin. 各位，一起来玩一下游戏啦！垃圾分类，我们要更深刻的了解一下，看看这是什么，然后看看是要扔到哪里。
茶叶丝，茶叶干可回收，
是吗？
茶叶说厨余吧。
哎。金属厨具是可回收啊，对，来看一下可啊，好，对，厨余垃圾，哇，你们都好厉害啊！好，我们分完了啊，分完了，谢谢。那我们今天的活动就结束啦，啊，辛苦你们啦，哎，谢谢，好棒，耶啊，拜拜耶！Wow. So our garbage is classified right now, and I've realized that they know even more than I do. Wow, shame on me. Wow, but I think that this is a very good kind of a game because we can learn from each other. They know something, and I know something, and we are exchanging. So this is the best way how to learn. Yep.
安泽啊，感觉如何？
哇，好兴奋啊！我觉得他们好厉害啊，真的，我都刚才感觉自愧不如。我觉得我们应该换一下位置。
我们通过就这种各种形式的这种宣传活动，可以学到垃圾分类很多新的知识。完之后普遍让居民都可以学到很多知识。
绿色生活从我们做起。
对，没错。
那我这个任务就算是完成了，
顺利完成。感谢。安泽啊，吃完饭了吗？
啊，吃完了。
在做什么？
我在画图呢，因为我们刚才在外面走的时候，我看到了还是会有
指路是吧？
在问，对，画的怎么样？
不错，非常好。这个是我们辖区的比较特点，银锭桥。完之后，银锭桥之后往西走，差不多800米左右是宋庆龄故居，这也是咱们标准的建筑物。上午工作已经告一段落，完之后下午咱们工作要开始了。下午我们的合唱队跟舞蹈队要进行彩排，欢迎你多参与进来，好不好？
我也参与其中。
对，那咱们现在出发。
好呀，
好了，
出发。
阿姨们下午好，我给大家带来一位新的志愿者。安泽 ，Hello， 安泽自我介绍一下吧。
好啊，大家好，我叫安泽，来自拉脱维亚。今天来这里是为了体验志愿者的生活，所以大家有什么样的事情，我可以帮助大家，我尽我所能啊。有什么可以帮助的呢？
您可以帮我们排一下队吗？
对，汇演之前必须要先把队形排好。来，阿姨们，咱们上场。
We are ready。那阿姨们，我们现在摆好造型了，我们就再来一遍，好不好？好，那就预备，3、2、1。But today I became a part of them, so this is a new experience for me. And when you're among them, so you feel that they're passing their energy and their warmth to you. So you're feeling like you're a part of them.
阿姨们，咱们继续练习。我要带着安泽去舞蹈队，再看一看，好不好？好，阿姨们再见啦！还有任务在前。对，拜拜。再见。
Well, when we started to dance and sing together, so I realized that they're not only providing community services and volunteering, they're also enjoying their life. Gathering together and just living it out. Maybe our thought, this is a kind of impression that a party and members of a party, so they are officials, like high-level officials, but you see that they're ordinary people. So this is just like, if you want to understand something for better understanding, you should spend a day, if you have a chance, with them to understand what kind of people they are. So I think that they're ordinary people and quite cute, actually. I'm Angela. Today, I'm 西城大妈.
Let's get back to our studio guest while we're waiting for the award ceremony of the July the 1st medal to the outstanding party members. And the award is going to be given by President Xi Jinping in the Great Hall of People. While waiting for that, let's talk again to our studio guests. Well, as we just seen, our influencer from foreign influencer is experiencing the normal day, one normal day of the party of the party member of the grassroots. Not easy job. The influencer was she was very young, but she also already called her 西城大妈, middle-aged woman. Well, anyway, it helps people not only in China but also especially the foreign people to understand the Communist Party of China, which normally they don't have any knowledge of. Before understanding CPC, before we talk about their understanding to the CPC, I want to ask you if you know the following fun facts of the Communist Party of China. The Communist Party of China, usually we say it was established in 1921, July the 1st, but actually the specific date was not July the 1st. Do you know which day was it?
It's 23rd.
July the 23rd.
23rd, yeah.
Yeah. In 1941, it was officially designated as July the 1st, designated as the official date to celebrate the birthday of the party. And in 1920, August 1920, a book with a red cover was secretly published in Shanghai, and once it was out, the shelves was very quickly emptied. Do you know which book that was?
Communist Manifesto?
Yeah, manifesto.
You gained 2 points, Professor Wang,
You
please.
can get the Marx professor, yes.
Right. And in 1920, Tsai He-sen, one of the earlier leaders of the Communist Party of China, when he was in France, he actually mentioned for the first time the Communist Party of China in the letter to Mao Zedong. So that's the first official name of the Communist Party of China. And the flag actually was varied before 1996 even. That's the first time I know that in 1996 there was an official pattern for the party flag with sickle and hammer. And before that, even before 1947 especially, different kinds of patterns were used. And in 1927, in July, for the first time, the word comrade was officially designated as the way that party members call each other. So those are the fun facts of the Communist Party of China. So there's a lot for us even to understand the party. But Professor Wang, how is the Communist Party of China is being perceived by foreign countries, by other countries?
Well, I think, we
don't even know China very much.
Absolutely. The episode we just saw is very, very orientation and education of particularly for foreigners, because when foreigners view Communist Party of China, they think of They thought of government officials, they think of a great lot of people, they always think of a elite. The public didn't realize it was not just elite, it was 91 million party members. And now you see, particularly in the story we just saw, the party member working in the neighborhood, in the community, they are really helping Chinese people fighting pandemic. For example, I remember in Wuhan, when they locked down for 4 months, all the neighborhood was really served by the party members. They have to go out shopping and serving and helping people stay in the family. That's where they quickly contain the virus. I even remember, they parachuted the 50,000 medical staff to Wuhan. A lot of them the party members. I remember the story that Dr. Zhang Wenhong actually said that he's one of the things he said, we need to go to Wuhan in this deadly moment. Very contagious disease. Who is going? Say party member have to go first.
Right.
See, you have to really show your party member,
and party members did that.
Yeah, absolutely. Most did that. So that set a good example. That's why you have 50,000 members, doctors, medical staff, soldiers, go to Wuhan, actually contain the virus. So I think this kind of a story probably foreigner didn't realize. It was the mobilization. Was for this 1.4 billion, the largest populous country in the world. How that function? You rely daily on a lot of party members' efforts to really do the good thing, do the dirty work, do the hard work, have to be advanced to do things. It's really this kind of moral standards that the party sets, that you have to meet that. You have to be, as I said, a vanguard to do things and to really make contributions.
Talking about the pandemic control and the prevention, China has done a great job. Great job, I have to say. Why those doctors or people who worked at the front line, especially in Wuhan during that most difficult, the darkest period of time, were not nominated this time?
I also remember that Dr.
That's
Zhang
one of
Wenhong,
the comments I read from the internet as well.
Yeah.
People are wondering.
Yes. As we have seen in different kind of wartime stories, numbers of thousands of numbers of soldiers, they fought in the battle and even sacrificed their life. But the war hero must just given to one person or two persons or single person. If each and every one person get this kind of award, and this award does not have the meaning, to highlight the contribution, to highlight some kind of a core value. So I think that most of the people, or we can say all of the party members, they are fighting in the front line in the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. They all deserve this kind of award. They all deserve this kind of, let's say, honor, and they all deserve this kind of recognition of their contribution. But we only have some certain types of strict criteria to suggest, to recommend, and to select the candidates for the highest level. And my understanding is that they deserve our respect as well.
We're now seeing the Great Hall of People, where the award ceremony of the July the 1st medal is going to be awarded by President Xi Jinping in the moment. Altogether, 29 party members are on the list of receiving this medal. And we've seen most of them have arrived for the ceremony. This medal, actually, as I've introduced a little bit about it, it is different from other medals. The medal has been made through more than 10 processes. 60% of them are handmade ones, and the elements on the medal include emblem and the 5-pointed star, symbolizing the lofty ideals of communism and passing of the fire. And there are also monument and light, symbolizing the party's glorious history and the great achievements, and the sunflower as well around it. As we can see, actually, I'm not sure our audience can see, but you two can see that. The sunflowers and the cloud symbolizes luck and auspiciousness in China, and with a party flag in the middle.
Yeah, beautiful design. Yes.
Yeah, and with major colors being white, red, and gold. The sunflower, of course, symbolizes the close unity of the party and the country around the party center, and the mountains and rivers reflect the ideals of the party members, and the clouds imply the prosperity and harmonious development of China. This medal is a diameter of 65 millimeters. It's not very big one, but still it's very delicately made. And more interestingly, the finishing task lies in the intangible cultural heritage filigree inlay process, and drawn filigree is only thin as 3 hairs. All right, this is CGTN special coverage on the award ceremony of the July the 1st medal, and President Xi Jinping is going to give the medal to the outstanding party members who made great contributions in China's construction, development, poverty alleviation, etc. At 10 a.m. local time, some 24 members of the Communist Party of China, as we mentioned, are going to be awarded the July the 1st medal. And President Xi Jinping is going to present the medals, and he's going to deliver a speech at the ceremony as well after the delivery, and which will begin in a few moments. And this specific medal, July the 1st medal, is different from the medal chain of national medals and national honorary medals we've seen before. The July the 1st medal uses fabric ribbons and sunflower, light, starlight, and other elements. It means that under the sunshine of the party, the medal winners are dedicated to the party, serving the people wholeheartedly, not forgetting the original intention, keeping the mission in mind, and moving forward. This is a little spoiler alert to the medal's design.
Please all rise up. And with a big hand, let's welcome Comrade Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, President and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, and all the other recipients.
This is Secretary General Xi Jinping leading the awardees into the Golden Hall and the Great Hall of the People. And following him are the awardees of the July the 1st medal. 29 people have been named for what's known as the CPC's highest honor for its members. And today, 22 of them will be present at the ceremony. And 3 of the medals will be awarded posthumously, while the rest will be received by relatives or representatives. And as we mentioned, the July the 1st medal is established by the CPC Central Committee and is being awarded for the first time this year as the party marks its centenary. And the 29 party members are from different working fields and from different ethnic groups across the country. They have made outstanding contributions to the party in China's revolutions, reforms and construction, poverty eradication, and the building of a moderately prosperous society in all respects. And General Secretary Xi Jinping will present the medals.
This ceremony to present the July 1st medal to celebrate the CPC centenary officially begins. Now, let's give the floor to the member of the Standing Committee of Political Bureau, the Secretary of the Secretariat of CPC Central Committee, and Director of the National Working Committee for Meritorious Service and Honor Commemoration, Mr. Wang Huning. Dear comrades, dear friends, today we are gathering here to solemnly celebrate the 100th anniversary of the CPC with the presenting ceremonies of the July 1st medal. Today with us, Comrade Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, President and Chairman of the Central Military Commission. With us, we have Li Guijin, Li Zhanshu, Wang Yang, Zhao Leji, Han Zheng, members of the Standing Committee of the Political Bureau, and also Vice Chairman Wang Qishan. We also have all the other related leaders and comrades of the party and the nation in Beijing, members of the Central Military Commission, the comrades from the related party, government, and military entities at central and Beijing municipal level, the recipients and their family members of the medal, their employers, and the representatives of the honor, outstanding party members, exemplary party affair workers, and advanced grassroots party organs, and all the other previous recipients of the meritorious honors, and our old cadres and veteran party members. Now please all rise up to sing the national anthem. Please all sit. Now, announce the decision on conferring the July 1st medal by the CPC Central Committee.
The CPC Central Committee decision on presenting the July 1st medals this year marks the 100th anniversary of the founding of the CPC. Over the past century, the CPC has united the Chinese people in long and arduous fight to finally realize national independence, people's liberation, national prosperity, and well-being of the people. The Chinese nation has realized a great leap from independence to prosperity, created a miracle in the history of the Chinese nation and the entire humanity. Since the 18th CPC National Congress, the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core stick to people-centered strategy, the 5-in-1 overall planning, and the 4 comprehensive strategic planning, has won this battle against poverty and built a moderately well-off society. And we also have ushered in a new era for building a socialist modernized country. In the past 100 years, generation after generation of CPC members never stopped their fight and struggle, many at the cost of their lives. And there are many heroic figures that have emerged in the process. And they have stayed committed to the cause of the party in order to honor the outstanding representatives that have contributed to the Chinese Revolution, construction, and reform. And these are outstanding party members that will inspire and stay true and loyal to their missions. The Central Party Committee has decided to present the July 1st medals to Ma Maojie, Wang Shumao, Wang Zhanshan, Wang Lanhua, Ai Aiguo, Shi Guangying, Liu Qiming, Ting Battuer, Liu Guijin, Sun Jingkun, Mai Mai Ti Jiang, Wu Mei'er, Li Hongta, Wu Tianyi, Xin Yuling, Zhang Guimei, Lu Yuanjiu, Chen Hongjun, Lin Dan, Zhuo Ga, Zhou Yongkai, Chai Yunzhen, Guo Ruixiang, Huang Dafa, Huang Wenxiu,黄宝妹、崔道直、蓝天野、魏德友、瞿独一。The July 1st medal recipients are outstanding representatives of party members that work in all walks of life. They are committed and loyal to the party, and they remain perseverant and devoted to the cause of the party and the people. They work hard to serve the people's interest and well-being. They are pragmatic and diligent with whichever positions they are in, and make great achievement. They are fearless in the face of great dangers and difficulties, and they are ready to risk their lives. And their efforts are widely commended by the party and people. And currently, China is at a critical stage to realize national rejuvenation. The CPC Central Committee called for the whole party to act under the guidance of Xi Jinping thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and the medal recipients are role models for the whole society. Let us unite closer around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, carry on the spirit of the CPC members, stay true to our missions, and never relax. In order to comprehensively build a socialist modern country, realize the second centenary goals, and realize the great Chinese dream of the national rejuvenation.
Now, the honor guards will escort our medal. Let's invite General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, President and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping, to present the July 1st awards to the recipients.
Ma Maojie,
the first level hero who makes outstanding services to crossing the Yangtze River campaign, who kept her chin up for 6 times while crossing the river and sent 3 batches of PLA on shore, who is the hero of crossing the river and indifferent to fame and wealth while dedicating to the party.
Wang Shumao,
as a medal to guard our sea. He once participated in several maritime campaigns and fought in the front line to defend our national rights of South China Sea, not yielding 1 inch, thus safeguarding our sovereignty over territorial waters.
Wang
Zhanshan. He is an experienced warrior veteran and level 2 combat hero among volunteers in the War of Liberation and the war against the U.S. aggression to aid Korea and the China-Vietnamese border self-defense counterattacks. He went through fire and water to bring down enemies, thus showcasing the revolutionary spirit of the army man.
Wang
Lanhua, the living Leifeng in the hearts of the masses, who always put the troubles, concerns on her mind, and for 10 years she has dedicated to the volunteering services while dedicating to the society and the masses. She is really a pioneer. An outstanding representative of craftsmanship, dedicating himself to the welding industry for 50 years and pursued excellence by conquering hundreds of technical difficulties to become a true leading figure with a load of skills in the welding industry. Shi Guangying, a model representative of sand control and afforestation for 40 years, dedicating to the alkaline marshes fight and desertification control, creating a new model of combining sand control and wealth creation, thus transforming the Mu'uz Desert.
Liu
Guijin, a famous composer, for his lifetime he dedicated himself to creating the Ode to Red Flag and playing My Beloved Pipa to praise the party, the nation, and the people. All of those revolutionary works are in the heart of the Chinese people.
Ting
Batir, who is rooted in the pasture and toiled on the ground, diving into the border pasture development for 40 years, exploring a new pathway of ecology protection, economic growth, and income increase, transforming the local herdsmen's lives.
Liu
Guijin, a cultivator of the China-Africa diplomacy. Despite difficulties, he was stationed in African countries, contributing to the China-African friendship and China-African cooperation, contributing to the friendly relations of the two sides. Memetian Umar, as a model of national unity, he served as the village secretary for 30 years and took a clear-cut stand against national separation and unswervingly safeguarded social steadiness and stepped in face of threat, safeguarding social harmony and stability.
Li Hongta, inheritant of the CPC members' revolutionary tradition, has led a plain and hard-working life in all of his positions and practiced the party's principles. As a loyal servant to the party, has been an outstanding representative of a loyal CPC member.
Wu Tianyi,
explorer of high-altitude medicine, who has been working in this business for over 50 years and has raised the international standard for high-altitude disease and prevention control, was named the guardian of life.
张桂梅
Zhang Guimei,
点亮乡村女孩人生梦想
the outstanding teacher that lit up the dreams for rural girls. She established free high schools for girls in poor areas and has helped more than 2,000 rural girls to get college education. She works hard despite her illness, and she was nicknamed Mother Zhang by her students.
Lin Dan,
outstanding representative of community workers. Lin has been working in the community more than 40 years and has innovated new community governance models and work to pass on the party's voice and serve the people to create better lives for them. Dogar, outstanding representative of frontier defenders. He guards the borders of Guimei and that of China, and for decades, she has been defending the snowy plateau and honored her oath to defend every inch of Chinese territory despite any difficulty. Zhou Yongkai, Zhou has been loyal to the party and people all his life. Before the liberation, works as an undercover party member. After the founding of the PRC, he also dedicated his life to create better lives for the people and led the people to plant trees and forests. And he was named Zhou, the revolutionist.
Guo Ruixiang,
a senior soldier of the Red Army, was enrolled in the army in the age of 16 and fought in the war against Japanese invasion and war of liberation. After retirement, led a plain life and has retained his true color. Huang Dafa, known as the modern Liu Gong, and he led the people to work for over 30 years to construct the Canal of Life on cliffs, regardless of his own safety. He has made great contribution to the local poverty alleviation effort.
Huang Baomei,
outstanding representative of weavers of the new China, in order to realize keeping all Chinese peoples warm, and he has been made remarkable achievement in ordinary positions. Cui Daozhi, the renowned criminal investigation expert. Cui has been working in more than 12,000 major criminal cases and made no mistakes. Has been working tirelessly and has been an outstanding representative of the police force.
Lan Tianye,
the renowned performing artist. Lan has devoted his life to people's artistic industry for the 70 years, has been performing in or directed classic dramas such as Tea House and Home, making great contribution to the Chinese drama.
Wei Deyo,
representative of the construction corps. For 50 years, he has been guarding the borders of the Sarbrak grassland, and he traveled over 200,000 kilometers to safeguard the security of the territory. He was known as the walking boundary maker. Now please all rise, and let us salute all the July 1st medal recipients with a warm round of applause. Now the young pioneers will present flowers to the medal recipients.
请坐下。
Please be seated.
请七一勋章获得者
Now let's give the
张
floor
桂梅
to
同志
Zhang
发言。
Guimei, the July 1st medalist.
Your Honorable General Secretary Xi Jinping, dear comrades and leaders, good morning. My name is Zhang Guimei. I am just an ordinary teacher. General Secretary Xi Jinping has conferred 29 of us the July 1st medal, which represents the highest honor in the CPC. This glory actually belongs to every party member fighting in their respective circles. On behalf of today's all medalists, please allow me to pay our thanks to CPC Central Committee for the full recognition of us, and our thanks to all the party members for their support and trust. 46 years ago, I moved from northeastern China to Yunnan province to support the border area as a teacher. In numerous home visits, I saw a lot of the girls in the mountainous areas dropping out of school due to poverty. I was heart-wrenched. I felt that one educated woman could end the intergenerational transmission of poverty and change destinies of 3 generations. Therefore, I determined to create the high school for girls for free to light up the dreams of kids in the poverty-stricken areas. Under the support of the CPC and different social circles, I established Huaiping Children's Home and High School for Girls. Approximately 2,000 girls were admitted into college. 130 more orphans had a home. Here, I especially want to mention that in the early days of school running, it was hard. The reason I could persist is that I was inspired by the party spirit. All party members of our school promised in face of the party flag that we must run the high school for girls well. We will make dauntless efforts and always bear in mind General Secretary Xi Jinping's instruction that education is of fundamental importance to the nation and the party. We will insist on cultivating people for the party and the nation. Our education will be led by party building. The school running will carry on the tradition of revolution, and the students must be cultivated with the revolutionary culture. We encourage the kids to be grateful to, listen to, and follow the pathway of the CPC to be the descendants of the party. Many students approached me that the first thing they were admitted into college was to apply for the party, to become one glorious CPC member, so that they could follow the footsteps of our revolutionary martyrs and be where they are needed. In the hearts of our students, we have buried the red seeds. We helped them to button up for the first time for their lives, so that they could be the successors of communism. For the kids, there are lights in the far, and there are roots beneath their feet and hope in their eyes. Even in the mountains, they could see the wonderful world outside and a beautiful future. Someone asked me, "Why have you been doing this?" Of course, I have my gratefulness and deep bond with this piece of land, but more importantly, it was out of my sense of mission as a CPC member. The famous novel Red Crag and the opera Sister Zhang are the always classics in my heart, and my favorite song is Praise to the Red Plum. influenced by the revolutionary martyrs and educated by the CPC for years. I give my top priority to the honor of the party and the title of the CPC member. All we did was just the everyday doing of all the CPC members. Yet, the party and the Chinese people give us such a high honor. Wearing this heavy medal, I am greatly encouraged and inspired. According to General Secretary Xi Jinping, in this long journey, the only thing we can do is to strive hard. As long as I am breathing, I will continue to stand on the podium and give whatever I have to my students. I will never regret this. The CPC's centenary is around the corner. I sincerely want to give my best wishes to our long-living party. I hope that our great nation will be prosperous and our great Chinese people will be happy and healthy. Thank you.
Now we give the floor to CPC General Secretary, President of the PRC, and President of the Central Military Commission, Comrade Xi Jinping. Comrades, today we gather here to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the founding of the CPC. And this ceremony aims to grant the CPC's highest honor to the outstanding representatives of the CPC members. First of all, on behalf of the CPC Central Committee, please allow me to express my congratulations and highest tribute to all the July 1st medal recipients. For a century, the CPC has stayed true to its mission and has united the people to blaze the trail, to build great cause, to forge great spirits, and accumulate precious experiences. We have written a splendid chapter in the history of the Chinese nation and the entire human race. For 100 years, generation after generation of CPC members spare no effort and even risk their lives in order to achieve national independence, people's liberation, the national prosperity, as well as the well-being of the people. And they have made great contribution and written an epic and heroic chapter. Today, the July 1st medal recipients are the outstanding representatives of the CPC members. They are lively manifest of the CPC members' spirits, commitment, pragmatism, hard working, and integrity, commitment. We need to stay true to our mission unswervingly. All CPC members must bear in mind their commitment to their beliefs and the loyalty to the party and to the people. And they should also honor their commitment in real actions. They need to contribute all that they have, even their lives, to the party and people, and never cease to fight for the party's greater goals. With beliefs at heart, there will be strength at their hand. And all party members must stay true to their beliefs in Marxism and socialism with Chinese characteristics. We should believe in the party, love the party, and serve the party, and work hard in their respective positions in order to realize the greater dreams of the party. Pragmatism. That means we must put the people's interest first and work to serve the people and to address their needs, attend to their problems. We must stay close to the people and depend on the people in order to create better life for the people. These concrete actions are vivid interpretation of the party members' people-centered philosophy.
The nation is composed of people, and people are all that matter to the nation. All party members must be committed to the people-orientedness and put people first, unyieldingly doing practical and good deeds for the people, so that we could always maintain our intimate connection with the people. Sacrifice is to take returning to the party and the nation and honoring commitments as the lifetime goal. Despite hardships and dangers, we are willing to be down to earth in practical terms with fortitude, fully demonstrating the CPC members' selfless, daring, and persevering spirits. The greater the cause is, the more the challenges, and the more it needs responsibility bearing. All party members must retain the heroic spirit of forging ahead regardless of hardships, and the high spirit of daring to change course. We must make solid efforts to conquer difficulties, struggling to create achievements that live up to the expectations of the party, the people, and this era. Cleanness is to carry forward the glorious tradition of the CPC members for being frugal and selfless for the purpose of public goods. We will never install ourselves as heroes, and never mind the personal gains and losses. We will never indulge in comfort and enjoyment. Instead, we will observe disciplines and rules to vividly demonstrate the ethics of CPC. CPC members naturally have the power of character. That's why we could win over the Chinese people. All party members must be aware of, observe, and practice the ethics. We must aim to be clean people and do clean deeds. We must devote ourselves wholeheartedly to public duties and maintain the political nature of the party to be clean. The July 1st medalists are themselves from the people and are rooted in the people. They are ordinary heroes who have been sacrificing on their posts. Their stories are exemplary and replicable. Their spirits are within reach. With their actions, they testify that with the firm faith, perseverance, and tenacity, every party member, with shrewd eyes on usual occasions, the daring spirit to step forward at critical moments, and the gut to risk everything in dangers, could actually fulfill themselves in the great cause of the national rejuvenation for the benefits of the party and the Chinese people. Dear comrades, this new era is in need of heroes and will surely give birth to heroes. The CPC in China must always be the pioneer of this era and the backbone of the nation. The team of CPC members must be competent. I do hope that the awarded colleagues could treasure their glory and carry on their achievements for even greater awards. Levels of party organizations must care for those awarded party members in work and in life by aggressively promoting the touching stories and lofty characters of the July 1st medalists, and therefore creating an atmosphere of equaling themselves with those better ones in the party and in the society as a whole. We hope to encourage the vast party members and cadres to bear in mind the party's nature and principles and their initial mission of the party. We must unswervingly fight for eternity. In the cause of building a socialist modern society in an all-round way, we must march forward towards the second centenary goal and the Chinese dream of the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation.
At the end of the award ceremony, let's give them another warm round of applause. Now General Secretary Xi will join the medalists to take a group photo.
All right, that was the award ceremony of July the 1st medal given by President Xi Jinping to 22 party members who have made outstanding contributions in their own work in different working fields, and altogether actually 29 people have been awarded, but 22 people made it to the Great Hall of the People today, and other 7 medals will be presented in other ways to the recipients. And Xi Jinping made a speech. He congratulated and saluted to the award recipients and stressed the important role CPC plays and the great responsibility that CPC members should take. And before him, the representative of the 29 award recipients, Zhang Guimei, also made a speech sharing his rural work, especially the work to improve rural education, and her feeling of receiving this award. Well, Xi Jinping, General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee, has spoken highly of the July the 1st medal recipients. Let's take a look back.
The recipients of the July 1st medal awarded today are representative of outstanding party members from every front line. They embody the noble qualities and spirits of the CPC members, having firm faith, practicing the party's principles, striving and showing dedication, and having integrity in performing duties.
All right, now let's turn to our studio guests, Professor Wang and Professor Xia. Well, Xi, in his speech, he mentioned that CPC members should take stronger responsibilities than before and should get back to original intentions. What's original intentions of CPC?
Well, I think that this is really a really impressive ceremony. That the first time that for the centennial that the July 1st medal has been awarded, and to the outstanding party members. But I think it sends a very strong signal. I mean, the origin of its mission, origin of its purpose is basically serve the people, and then for the country and serve the people. I think that probably is a key message. I think President Xi actually spoke at his speech that it's a people-centered party, and the party members should really have the people in their mind. It's a nation composed of people. So people has been stressed again and again. I think that's really a strong message to the vast party members that we have to keep the people in mind. I think that is really also we needed to do today. I mean, that was as China has alleviating the poverty of hundreds of million people in the past several decades. So I think this is probably very interesting to watch. Actually, very important to watch is that I think this is part of Chinese government CPC actually effective governance system that is can motivate people, rally people, but also has its mission and has the people that organize to attack all the difficulties. So the original intention
is people and to serve them. Actually, the party members, especially those grassroots party members, they are people. So they are doing their own job well in their own post. It means that they are serving the people practically already. Then talking about the outstanding CPC member who made the great contributions, it is not a very easy job, especially working in the grassroots level, to deal with the grassroots problems. Like Zhang Guimei, she dedicated herself wholeheartedly to improve the rural education. She is being awarded. There are a lot of people who are not awarded.
Yes, actually, this is just what we have mentioned, what we have discussed. It's just like a kind of a war, because each and every of these 29 candidates, they are actually, they are in the front line of each and every battle. For example, they are in the battle against the stand. They are in the battle against the extremism, terrorism, and they are in the battle against the front line, against the poverty alleviation, this kind of loss of education. So they thought themselves as the warriors, and and they are fighting the war. I think just like Ms. Zhang said in her speech, said that this is a kind of this kind of award belongs to each and every party member, and she said that she got honored to be awarded, but she said that this kind of award, this kind of medal belongs to members.
One of her remarks actually impressed me the most is to let people, although they're in deep mountains, they not only can look improve their lives, but can look outside into the wonderful world. I think the next mission is to make them part of the wonderful world. So poverty eradication is just the first step. The next step is to make them part of the prosperity.
Yes.
All right, we'll be getting back to you for more discussion. Maybe, well, that's the end of our coverage, actually. Thank you very much, Professor Wang Huiyao, Advisor to China State Council, and Professor Xia Lu from the School of Marxism Studies at Renmin University of China. Thank you very much for your insights. And with that, we come to the end of special coverage of the award ceremony of the Communist Party of China. 29 outstanding members of the party received the July the 1st medal for the first time. So we leave with you the key moments from the ceremony. I'm Li Dongning in Beijing. Thanks for watching.